Hello everybody. In this screencast we're going to look at in class 3, which is an assignment related to activities and activity life cycles and activity data passing. On the GitHub repo you could see that I posted the start activity for result using the launcher, which is exactly like the video, the informational video. Anyhow, so let's look at the in class. Here's the in class, here's the documents, here's the in class PDF. And if we look a little bit at it, this is the first screen, main activity. You click on it, you click on the register button, takes to the registration screen, enter name, enter email, enter ID, and then you can select a department. When you click select department, it should open the department fragment for result. So basically launch it for a result, because you pick the department, you click select, whatever you picked needs to go back to the registration activity. Now when it goes back, you have the department. Now you have all the form filled, you click submit, it goes to packages the whatever you filled into an object and sends it through to the profile activity. Straightforward, and it shows different aspects of a navigation from main activity to registration, and then from registration to select a department, and then you select something from here, it goes back, so it shows data passing backwards. In addition, when you click submit in the registration, it shows you moving data forward or passing data forward from the registration activity to the profile activity. All right, so we're going to build this. Let me just zoom out a little bit. We're going to build this, and let's see. We open Android Studio. Create a new project, and similarly this is the empty activity. Click next, and here we go in class 3. Right, in class 03, and press enter. All right, so it's going to build. Now I'm just going to create these layouts. I need this picture. So if you look at under documents, there is a support file. Let's click on it, click on download, and I'm gonna drag and drop it here, and here is the image. Until this loads, we look at resources, drawable, and I'm going to drag and drop it here into the drawable folder, and here we go. All right, so let me just make this a little bit bigger, and I don't need this to be that big, so I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller so that I could use most of the screen. All right, so we go back to the documents, zip file, and I need just to get to see the picture, the images. So basically the first one is very simple. I have the main activity. We already have that main activity. I can call it set title main. So now this is this one, right? So now here is the layout for it. I'll delete. I can keep this layout. So let's see, I can remove this constraint, and here we go. And code, I give it a little bit of a padding, let's say 10 dp. Go back to the design, here it is. It says hello world. I click here, add a string value. I'll call it, for example, welcome, and here it is, welcome. All right, click on OK, and here it is. We can increase the font a little bit. Let's make it 20. Here's welcome. Now I need an image view. And I wanted to use the welcome message. Here it is. Here is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I can keep it like this if I want, and then we put a button at the bottom. A button at the bottom. Here it is. Here's a button 1, 2, and 3, and click twice. 1, 2. Click twice so that the width is 0. Okay. Now scroll down a little bit. We click here, and we add a string called register. Okay, here we are. Button, I'm gonna call it register. All right, here we are. And maybe I can, if I don't want it capitalized, I click once, I click twice. Here it is, register, and we're good to go. So now we can test this out, run it. Okay, here it is. and we will have the first screen. Here it is. And we have our first screen. Okay, looks okay, looks good enough. Good, so we have the first screen. So now we have a couple of other activities. So let's create these activities first, create their layouts. So we have the registration activity. So right click, new activity, empty activity, and this is going to be the registration activity, right? Registration activity. All right, so here it is, the registration activity. And we have also a new activity, empty activity, and this is going to be the department activity, right? So pick the department. It's going to be the department activity, and here we are. I have a department activity, registration, department, and then we finally have a profile activity, empty activity, and this is going to be the profile activity. Remove this and remove this and finish. Notice when you create these activities, it also creates for you the layout automatically, right? In addition, there are a lot of stuff that is happening behind the scenes. In addition, in the manifest, these activities are being added to the manifest. You see here, they are automatically added to the manifest. In addition, when you look at the launcher one, is the main activity. That's the first one that starts, right? And then you have the other activities in the manifest. But anyhow, so let's go and finalize these layouts. All right, so I have this one already built. Let's look at the registration one. Okay, here is the registration one. Let's go in, add a little bit of padding, and here is 10 dp. I'm going to add it to all of them. I'm gonna need to add it to all of them, so I'm gonna do it for this one and also for the profile. I'm going to add it for the profile, and also I'm going to add it for the department. Okay, cool. So I added the padding. Now let's go back to the registration. Text view, text view, text view, then another text view. So basically it's going to be text view, text view, text view, another text view, another text view, button, button, and some edit texts. All right, cool. So that should be straightforward to build. Here, this is what I would like to build. Okay, so I'll have one text view up here, and then another text view under it, and then another text view under it, and some other text view here. And let me add the edit text. First one is a plain text one, here it is, and then similarly another edit text, and that one is going to be an email. Here it is, another edit text, plain text. Here we go. And sometimes it doesn't work like but anyhow, so I'll fix that. But here are the constraints. Here are the constraints. Here we are. Give it a little bit of a margin, make it 16. Here we are. Okay, so I have this one, I have this one, and let me add the other one. Edit text. Okay, here we are. Put this one here, this one here, and here we go. All right, so I have 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then this one goes to the right, left, similarly to the left, similarly to the left, similarly here to the left, and we can make the top of it to the top here, and then the put the constraint of the bottom to be the same as the bottom of this view, and it shows, see, it centers it. Similarly, we do the same thing with the other one. Okay, and the same thing with this one. Okay, and then this guy, you can make it here. We'll wait for this guy a little bit, right? Because there is a button that we need to add, so I'll just add the button. You know, it crashes for some reason, so I'm gonna do Control Z, undo, and then try to put the button again. I think it's trying to solve the constraints and it's failing, so maybe that's why. But anyway, so here we are. Here's our 16, and similarly this guy to the top of the button, and then the bottom is to the bottom. So we have most of the layouts done. Now these ones, we want this to go all the way here, and I'm going to press 1, 2, and give it a little bit of a margin. And then this guy, I could just move it to the end of this guy so that they will have the same width. Here it is, and similarly here. 1, 2. So I have the edit text set up. I need another text view that I'm going to put here, and this text view goes to the end of here, beginning of the button, and then the top of the button, and then the bottom of the button. 1, 2. Give it a little bit of margin, so I have all the information now. Now let me just set up these labels. Okay, click here, add a string value, and I'll call it name label. Name label, name. All right, here we are. And then this is the text view. The next one is going to be add string value, and this is going to be the email label and email. All right, here it is. And similarly, this one is going to be the ID label, and similarly ID. Here we are. And then this one is going to be the department label. There is department label, the department, and basically you can't have a plus sign because it's an invalid variable in Java to have a plus in it. Here it is. So I have the department. Now I need to add some hints here. You see here the text is already completed here. I need to add some hints. Click on this one, and this is, I'll call it name hint, and this is enter name. Okay, here it is. And I can edit these, so basically it's all under the strings. Okay, so here is enter name. Let me copy this. I have email hint, and we have ID, and maybe also we have the select, so I'm going to go in and add a select label. Select. So basically it's enter ID, and this is enter email. Alright, so we go back here, enter name, and similarly here we pick the hint. We have hint. This is the second one, is the email. Here it is. And then similarly also here we remove that value and we add the hint, which is going to be the ID hint. Here it is. And the button, we also updated the text to have a select one. Okay, go here, type select, and here we're good to go. Alright, so we have that. We also need a submit button, so we create a button at the bottom. Here we are, and we go from here. I don't know why it's causing this problem, so Control Z. Okay, cool, here we are. So every time you add add components, it's trying to solve the constraint problem. You know, you're adding these constraints, so it could be it's going crazy at that stage sometimes. Anyway, so click here, and we add plus string value submit. Here is the submit button, and here we go. So here's the submit button ready. We have these text labels. I need to give these good names so that I could use them. And edit text name. Okay, so let me just copy the word edit text because that's what we're going to use. Similarly here, this is edit text email. And this one is going to be edit text ID. Okay, and this one is going to be text view selected department. Selected department. And this one button select department. Here it is. And this one is going to be the submit button. Okay, submit. All right, perfect. So now I have all these variables here in place. I want the submit button. I'll just copy this ID. You'll see now why. Now I want in the main activity, when you click on the main activity, when you click on this button, which is the register button, I want to go to the next screen. So in order to do that, I'll do find view by ID r.id.button, and I want to go to the register button dot set on click listener. How did I get this ID? If you go to the activity, this is the button, this is the ID of the button. I can copy that, and here's the ID of the button. And new view on .onClick listener. Now, where do I want to go? I want to go to the registration activity. In order to go to the registration activity, you need to create an intent. Intent new equals new intent, new intent, and we are going to use this one, which basically you give it the context and the class that represents the activity that you would like to go to. Okay, the context is going to be MainActivity.this. All right, and then where do you want to go? You want to go to the registration activity .class. All right, so here is the intent. Now you ask yourself, do you want to send any information? No, we don't. We just want to go from this screen to this screen, right? So basically we just say start activity and you give it the intent. Now what's going to happen is this is going to display the next screen. So now we run this and see. Here it is. You click on the button, goes to the next screen. If you go back, it will show this one, right? Because you didn't, this is still alive. We just transitioned to the next screen. All right, cool. So this is the registration. Now, if we go back to the registration activity, we give it a title. So we can set title and we could say registration. Here it is. Run it again. Okay, and register. Here it is. We are in registration. Good. Let's build the departments activity. Okay, here it is. So basically you could see that I have some labels here. These are computer science and so on. So I'll just go to the strings and let me create them. Go here, some labels. Need 4 of them. So I'm going to call it CS label and then SIS label, and then I'm going to have bio label and DS label. All right, so this is going to be data science, and this is going to be bioinformatics, and this is going to be software and info systems, and this is going to be computer science. All right, so good. I have the labels. We're good to go. We go back to the departments, and here's the design. We need a radio group. Here it is. This is the radio group. So basically we are trying to build something that looks like this, right? Here's the radio group, and let's add some constraints for the radio group. Here's 1, 2, and we can also add this to here. All right, so we can do something like that, or I don't need this constraint in general, but anyway, go here, radio button. Here it is under the radio group. It's not happy. Control Z again, radio button. Drag drop. Okay, now it's happy. I don't know why, but anyway. So here is radio button. Okay, now we go back to the code for it. Here is 1 radio button. I need 4 of them. So I'm gonna go to Control C and add 3 more. The first one is gonna be radio button CS. Second one is radio button SIS, and then radio button bio, and then radio button DS, and then the text. You see here it's hardwired. Let me do a split design so you see what I'm trying to do here. And double click so that you could see it better. And then I need this to be the string I just created. This is going to be the CS label, and similarly here this is going to be the SIS label, and then this is the bio label, and this is the DS label. So I have the departments. Also you see that the computer science is pre-checked, so basically I could go here and say, for example, checked is true. All right, so basically by default computer science is going to be checked. All right, so I think I have all what I need. Let's see the radio group. Does it have an ID? Radio group, because I need to get the radio group, so in order to get which one was checked, right? So I have the department activity. Right now, we can set up the title. Set title to department. All right. And I need the radio group, of course. Okay, so it has the radio group, and then it has 2 buttons. So let's go back here. Need 2 buttons. Here's 1, and then here is 2. It has 2 buttons. Control Z. Alright, so here's the first button. Here we are. Second button is here. I don't know why it's causing this. The constraints, it's not happy. So maybe I can just click on this constraint and then this constraint. Let's see if it's happy now. Right. Okay, so it's a constraint issue. And then let's put the spacer. So basically it's under layouts. Here's the space. We put it here. And then one goes here. One goes there. And then goes down here. Maybe give it a little bit of a margin. And we go here. One goes here. And then one goes here. Okay, good. So we have them. 1, 2. Give it a little bit of a margin. Similarly, 1, 2. And a little bit of a margin. So I have the 2 buttons set up correctly. Here we are. And this is going to be the cancel button. Cancel button. And this one is going to be the submit button or the select. The select button. Change the texts. So here's this one. Click here. String value. Select. Oh, so we already have a select. Okay, good. So basically, let me use it. Okay, here we are. Okay, so here's the select. And then this one is going to be the cancel button. So we click here. Add plus string value. Cancel is cancel and cancel. All right, here we are. So I have the button set up, button cancel, button select, and here we go. So I have the department activity done also. I think we're very close. So let's look at the registration activity. So we go back here. Let's look at the registration. Here's the registration layout. Now, what I would like to do is, of course, I need all these edit texts, right? Because I'm going to use them. Yes. So go to the code. I'm going to Control A, Control C just to get all the correct IDs. And I know I do that, but you will see that this becomes very easy when we use the view binding. All right, I need these IDs because I'm going to use them. I don't need these ones. I need the edit texts, right? So these ones are out. And this one is out also. Here's the edit text here. So I know that I'm going to use these edit text. Here's the first edit text, name, email. All right. In the future, we're going to use view binding. Makes life much easier. View binder will go in and get all these edit text or all these components for you into a class and does all the mapping for you. Makes life much easier. All right. Here we are. So we have the buttons. These are the buttons. This is the selected one and the submit button. Cool. So now these are my edit texts. Okay. Now the text view for the department. So this is text view. Text view for the department, and here we go. Okay, good. Now for the buttons, I can set up the handlers for them. So find view by ID r.id. Here's the button. Set on click listener new. Okay, this is the first button, which is the select department. I'll copy this. Oops. Okay, so control. Okay, here we are. Here's the other button, which is the submit. Okay, so now we have all this done here. The components are wired. I have access to the edit text that I need, the text view that I need. And when the app first starts, you see that the department selected is empty. So I can go and do that also here. I can go in and say, I need these variables. So basically I'll say edit text name equals find view by ID r.id.edit text name. So I need something like that. So that's the name. I need these to retrieve them from the layout. This is the name, and this is the email, and this is the ID. Right here is the ID. And then similarly, I need the edit text, the text view. Sorry, here's the text view department selected. Here it is, and here it is. So I have them all. I could say text view department selected dot set text to empty. So now there is nothing selected. It will look like this, right? Nice. Okay. So now let's go to the department screen. So now to go to the department, you need an intent, but it's a little bit different. So basically what we need to do is we need to create a launcher, because we will start that we will start the department fragment. Basically, we're going to start the department activity for result, because the registration is waiting for whatever the department has selected, and the department needs to be able to send it back. So in that case, we're going to use this launcher approach, right, which we already posted the code for in here. You see here, if you look at the activity, here it is. I know it's not very clear, but basically what we're going to do is we are going to create this variable, we call it a launcher, and then register it. I'll show you what to do right now. It's straightforward. Okay, so I go back here, and inside the activity, private activity result launcher, the generic here is going to be intent. This is what is going to receive, start, or I'll say, for example, option enter, here it is, start department for result, okay, equal register activity for result. And now it needs, the first one is a new activity results contract, start activity for result, that's this one, and then comma, new, and here we are, and semicolon. So you could see that the result will arrive here. There is an interface that we're implementing here, and the result will arrive. Here is the result. Now you could check to see if the result is okay. Result is get the result code is equal to result okay. This means that you received the result, else it's not okay. And basically you can get the data. The data is an intent. Data equals result.get data. You see here. How do I know it's an intent? Because it's an intent here. You declared it as an intent. So here is the start department for result. Cool. Now, in order to, when you click the select department button, right, we want to go to, let's go back here, click here, and week 3 in class. I will just want the PDF again. Here's my PDF. And so basically when you click this button, we want to go here, but not only go here, but we want the department to be able to send us data back. That's why we need to start it for result. Now, in order to start it for result, we need an intent, okay? An intent to tell it where you want to go. So new intent, it needs a context, which is going to be the registration activity.this, and needs to go to know where you want to go. I want to go to the department activity.class. So I have the intent. Now I use the start department result dot launch, and you give it the intent. So basically it's telling it to launch it. Okay, it launched this intent for result, right? So now if we run this, you'll see what happens. Okay, register, I click on select, it takes me to the department. Okay, go back, you see here, registration is there, main is there. All right, so we have the start for result. Now, so let's see. So basically let's build the department one, because now we are able to go right to the next screen, right? Here's the department activity. Basically you have only 2 buttons, and you have the radio group, right? So basically let's go back to the layout for it, because that's what we need to use. Okay, so here's the radio group. It's called radio group. So I'll go back here, I'll go and write radio group, here it is. And then you have the buttons. Basically you have the cancel button, and you have the select button. Okay, good. So basically here we are. So we have find view by id r.id.select. This is the select button dot set on click listener, new on click listener. And then similarly you have the cancel button. So I'll copy this from here to here and here to here. This is the cancel button. And so basically cancel button, what it does, the cancel button just closes the screen. All right, so to close the screen, you say finish. So we can try that. So you run this. Okay, we click on register, takes you here. Click on select, takes you here. Click on cancel, finishes this, and you're back, right? All right, good. So now when you click on the select button, I need to figure out which department did they pick, right? So basically I need the radio group, right? So basically radio group equal find view by id r.id.radio group, right? So I have the radio group. So from the radio group I can get the integer. This is the selected id, right? Equal radio group dot get checked ID. This is one with when they selected, right? I could say, for example, if the selected ID is equal to r.id.cs ready button cs and so on, right? So basically I can start off with a string department equal to computer science, or I can get string. There is a get string r.string .cs, right? So I have these labels that I created, right? So I can do something like that. That's this one. This is this case, else if, and similarly I can copy the whole if statement here. So this is an else if for the next one, and similarly this one, and so on. So basically CS, and then we have one for SIS, here it is, and then this is going to be SIS label, right? So I can get the valid string from there, and then this is bio, and then this is going to be the bio label, and then this one is going to be data science, DS label. So I already have the department. After I'm done, I have this department is going to hold the string that represents the department that they selected, right? I want to send it back. So what I need to do, first create an intent, and this intent is just an intent, a new intent. See, it doesn't have a direction, just an intent, right? Doesn't, because we know the direction through set result. When you set the result, it knows that this result is going back to whoever started the department fragment for result. All right, so I have that, and then in the intent we can put some extras. It's a bag, key value pair, right? So basically, in order to put the extras, a key value pair, so we need a public static final string, and this is going to be the department. I call it key, the key for the department. Okay, equals department. Okay, so that's the key for the department. So basically inside the intent, you see here, intent dot put extra, and what I want to put is the key and then the value. So the key is going to be the key, and then the value is the department. All right, so we have the intent ready. Okay, then we do set result, and here we go. So the result code is result okay, and then department. Oh, sorry, not department, the intent. You pass on the intent. The intent has the department inside it. And then we just finish. So set result sends the data back to whoever started this for result. All right. So it's going to be received where? That intent that we put here is going to be received here. It's going to be received here. You see, it's going to be received inside here. Now, once we have it, we can do stuff with it. We have that, we can get the department. This is a string. So basically, let's have a global variable called department here. We're going to create a global variable here, a string. I call it selected, or let's call it department. And here it is. And basically here we just, after you get the data, we say department equals data dot get string extra. And what's the key? The key is department activity dot, here's the key. So I have the department. Now once you have the department, now it's very easy to set the text view. So it has text view dot select the department, set text to department. So basically you get the department from the intent that got received, and I'm gonna set up the stuff here. Now else we could just say department equal null, department or text view dot set department dot set text to nothing, right? So basically, when is this case? Is when you click the cancel button. So when you click the cancel button, we finish. We'll see if it hits this side or no. Let's try and see. Let's just see this first case, and then we'll address the second case. Click on register, select the department. Let's say I select software information systems, and then I click on select. It shows software information systems. Now if I click on select again, and let's say I click cancel, you see here cancel returns back nothing. So basically this means that the result is not okay. So, and it comes back and it's empty. All right. So it's very simple and very easy to use here, right? Now we can even put a breakpoint here and see if this is going to be called. So click on this. Here we are. Click on register. Takes us here. We click on select. And then I click on the cancel button, and you see we are here. So when you cancel it, it doesn't return a result that is okay. In that case, we're good to go. So I'm gonna run it again. Okay, cool. So now we are able to get the data back, and we're able to get the department, right? We showed how we can get the department. So we're able to do this flow. You pick software information system, select, it goes here, select again, bioinformatics, select, and we're bringing back the department. Now we just, all what we need to do is just finalize the submission process, right? So we're here. We need to get the name, email, ID, right? So basically I'll get string name equals edit text name dot get text dot to string. So I have the name, you know, here is 1, 2, and 3, and then we have the email, okay, and I have the ID, and this is edit text email, and this is going to be edit text ID. So I have the email ID. Now just do a little bit of error checking. I'll say if name is empty, I'm going to show a test, right? Show a test. So enter name, we're good here, and then we can do else if, and this is going to be for the email, and the email, if the email is enter email. Here I'm not validating the email to have this correct format and so on. You can do that also. There is a nice validator that you could use, ID pattern using regular expressions, enter ID. It's very easy. So then else if, now department, how do I check the department is equal to null, right? If it's equal to null, right? Because if it starts off as null, you see here, we never declared it, it starts off as null. And now if you pass a department, we set it, and if you don't, we set it back to null, right? If it's null, and then else, we are ready to go, right? Okay, so now if that's the case, we just tell them that if it's null, to pick a department. So we'll go here, select a department, that's what I'm going to do, and select a department. Okay, we're good here. Now if everything is good, now we are able to package it and send it, you know, the submit packages it and sends it to the profile. All right, so now in order to send it to the profile, we just need a little bit of work. Let's build the layout for the profile. All right, the layout for profile is very straightforward. You see, it's just a couple of text views. So what we could do is go here, here's the profile, design window, make it a little bit bigger, and a couple of text views, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are 4 text views, and let's see, put this one here, and here we go, 1, 2, similarly 1, 2, and 3. Just all of them are anchored to the left. Let's add text view in front of this one for the value here. Okay, so I have a text view that I'm going to put here. It goes here. The top of it is the top of this one, and all the way to the end. And similarly another one, which this one goes, let's say, under this one, goes under this one, give it a little bit of a margin, let's say 16, and then similarly this one goes to the end here, and here, and to the top of this one. Okay, cool. So we can go here, give it a little bit of a margin to the side, 1, 2, here we are, that's this one. Similarly 1, 2, we have the second one, and then this one is under here, margin 16. The text view goes all the way here, here, the top is here, 1, 2, here we go, and then finally this one, here we go, 16, go back here, and 1, 2, and the top is here. And pick all of them, make them bold, make them a little bit bigger, let's say 16. This guy is 1, 2, here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4, make it a little bit bigger, and we're good. So we have all of the text views set up correctly. Now let's add the labels. So this one is, click here and we click on name, here it is. And similarly this one, click on that, this is email. All right, and then similarly the other ones, the ID, okay, the ID label, and then finally the department. So we click here, here's the department label. So we're good to go. We have all of them set up. Now I need to give them some good IDs so that I can use them. This one, text view what? This is text view name. Press enter, here it is. Now text view email. You notice that when I click enter, it asks me to rename. The thing is, it's renaming it because it's used, this ID is used in the constraints in the layout. So renaming is very important here. So here's ID, text view ID, and then finally this is department. All right, here we are. So I have all the text views set up correctly. Now now the question is, how do I send the profile? So I need a profile object. So I'll go here, I click new Java class, I'll call it profile, and that profile object is going to have a string name, email, ID, and department. All right, here it is. And let's create a constructor for it. Let's have a constructor that accepts all the four. There it is. I have an empty constructor also. Select none, then have some getter and setter, getters and setters for all of them, and we're good to go. So I have the profile. So that's the object that I'm going to create to go from here to here. So basically, let me create the object here. Here is the profile, equal new profile. I'm going to pass it the name, email, ID, and department. So I have that here already set up. So I have the profile. Let me just make sure name, email, ID, and department. So if we go here, name, email, ID, and department. So I have the profile. Now I need to package that profile and send it. We want to go from the registration screen to the profile screen, right? All right, so to do that, we need an intent. Here's an intent, new intent. Here's an intent, and we new intent, and we need the context, which is going to be the registration activity.this. And then where do we want to go? We want to go to the profile activity.class. So we have the intent set up correctly. We want to put inside that intent dot put extra. You see here, these are the values that we could put. You could put integers, strings, float, and so on. You can put parcelable and serializable, right? So basically, we'll go to the profile object and make it implements serializable, right? So we go here, and I need to put extra, and this is going to be the profile, and the key and the value is going to be the profile object. Here it is. So usually what we do is, instead of just typing the key as a string like this, you create a variable and a static public static final string. Here it is, and that becomes your key. So we'll call it key profile equal to profile. All right, so that's the key, right? So now why? Because whoever is receiving it wants to know what the key is, so that they can just use the key that you declared. So we put that in the intent. Here it is. We package the profile in the intent, and then we do start activity, and we pass it the intent. The data is inside that intent, right? All right, cool. So now we are able to go to the profile activity, right? Let's implement the profile activity. So we don't need all of this. This is out. We didn't need this. I need the profile layout so that I could get the IDs of these text views, especially these text views. I'm going to copy these. All right. So here's the text views that I'm going to use. I need the text views. Here is 1, and then here is 2, and ID, and then finally department 1. Here it is. Okay, cool. So this is done here. Now, in order to get the profile object, here's the profile activity, right? Now let me just text view name. Let's get these variables first. Find view by ID, r.id, text view name, text view name. Here we are. All right, copy this one. 1, 3. Similarly, also the email. Here's the email. It's very repetitive. That's why view binding is amazing. View binding takes care of this without you having to find the same IDs, declare these variables. Anyway, so now let's see how are we going to get this profile object. We'll say, for example, if get intent is not equal to null, and get intent dot has an extra. What's the name of the key value? The key value is registration dot profile key. If it has that, then I can go safely and say get me the profile. So profile equals get intent dot get serializable extra, and the serializable extra that I would like to get is the serializable extra that I'm trying to get is going to be I need the key, so it is the registration activity dot get profile, right? So basically that's this, and basically it's not happy, so basically I'm telling it to get me this. It's not happy, it just need to be casted. So we go here, cast it, and so on, right? So here we are. So I have the profile. Now once you have the profile, I could just say text view set text profile dot get name. So I can do something like that, right? And similarly, text view email dot set text profile dot get email, right? Text view department dot set text profile dot get department. So we are done with here. And finally, text view ID dot set text is profile dot get ID. So basically you could see that I'm able to retrieve the profile object, and I'm able to show it up here. So now let's do set title to profile. All right, run this. Let's see if we're able to do this correctly. All right, here it is. I click on register. Now if we click submit, it says enter the name, test. Here we go, enter here. It says cancel, sorry. Now if I click on submit, it says enter email. Let's see, let's make it Bob Smith, email b@b.com. and if I click on submit, it says enter the ID. Here's the ID. Now I click submit, it says enter my department, pick a department. Let's say here, software information systems, select, we have the department, we're ready to go. Click on submit, takes me to the profile, and all the information is set up correctly. So you see that we're able to show start activity for result, which is this one. I can start an activity for result, get back the result, and I can just start an activity and pass it some data, and I'm showing the data here. So we'll use the serializable to send the data. All right, so please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.